Welcome to Spiritual Ambition, where we tune in to awaken our divine nature and explore the provocative inner force compelling us toward our fullest potential. If you've achieved external success but feel a deeper calling, if you're tired of dimming your light to fit in, and you know there's a more powerful way to live and lead and love, you're in the right place. Host Donna Bond is a best-selling author, modern-day high priestess, and catalyst for personal transformation. Together, we're birthing a new paradigm of loving leadership, integrating our humanity with divine wisdom as our individual awakening serves collective evolution. Here's your host of Spiritual Ambition, Donna Bond.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in, welcome back. Welcome if you're scrolling in the feed somewhere. Welcome to Spiritual Ambition, where we tune in to awaken to our divine nature. I'm Donna Bond. This is episode number 24. And today we are going to talk about the quantum field and attuned guidance. What if the universe was speaking directly to you in every single moment of your life, and you've just been overlooking the words, the symbols, the signals that are coming into you? Right now, in this very moment, in this very second, you are immersed in an infinite field of guidance. It's not somewhere out there in the cosmos. It's right here, right now. The quantum unified field isn't some mystical concept reserved for, what are those guys called? The physicists or people who are just spiritually adept. It is the living, breathing intelligence that is communicating with you through every single synchronicity, every single serendipity, through every gut feeling, and even in every boring moment. It's just that your heart and your spirit know something that your mind hasn't caught up with yet, hasn't been privy to. But today, you're going to get a little bit of insight into this. The question isn't whether you are connected, because you are. The question is, are you attuned to being able to receive the messages that are coming in to you, for you, by you, should I say? Today, we're going to decode the language of the universe with quantum navigator, Brenda Lee Matush. I can't say it. I'm going to just call her Brenda Lee because I have said it incorrectly so many times that now it's grooved in the record. You know what I mean? Brenda is an incredible energy. She is super fun. And when her and I get together, the fireworks start going off. So if you are in the mood for some fuel and to get charged up and to really get excited about what is right in front of you, then join us today in Spiritual Ambition, because you're about to discover that the access you want to infinite wisdom, it's been right in front of you the entire time. You don't have to access the quantum field because you're already living it. The universe has been trying to get into a conversation with you the whole time, through your heart, through synchronicities, through every single conversation, through the reality that is being reflected right back to you all the time. Separation is really the illusion. Connection is your nature. And attunement is a choice. So welcome to Spiritual Ambition. I'm Donna Bond. This is episode number 24, and it is our last episode of 2025. And in this moment, it's time to attune. So, wherever you are, I want to invite you to get comfortable. Hello, Bernie. Welcome in. Melissa, thank you for being here. Ashraf, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I want to invite everybody to just close their eyes in this now moment and just notice the beating of your heart. And just take a nice, deep, cleansing breath. And then just let that go. Just giving yourself permission right here and now to slow down, to unwind, to unfold, to tune in. Infinite universe, we call ourselves forward into your loving. We ask to be cleared, filled, surrounded, and protected with the clear white light of living love. We ask that any karma, negativity, imbalance, any distress, discomfort, dis-ease, any contraction, constriction, old storylines, stale narratives, any limiting belief systems, any energies or vibrational frequencies that are vibrating at anything less than the frequency of divine loving that may be residing anywhere in your consciousness, mentally, physically, emotionally, subconsciously, or energetically. We ask just now that anything with a resonant frequency less than divine loving be lifted and transmuted, carried to the highest realms of light and sound, and dispersed back into the nothingness. Into this space, we recognize the quantum field, the connectedness of all that is. We tune in to grace, to loving, to joy, to exaltation, to aliveness, to enthusiasm, to inspiration, to upliftment, to creativity, to inner knowing, to truth. We acknowledge and we welcome in only those divine beings of light who love each one of us unconditionally, who work for the divine plan and who work for the light. We welcome only you into our sacred space here today. We ask for your support and assistance and direction, keeping in mind each of our unique destinies. We are grateful for the opportunity to come together, to do this work, to slow down, to tune in, to be awake. For this and more, we say thank you, and so be it. Welcome in, everyone. Lenoy Roberts, I hope I'm saying your name right. Hello, welcome. Mario, thank you for being here. Pam, hello. Ashraf, I must have said your name right. You're giving me the thumbs up. Well, I'm so glad that you're all here today. We have an exciting guest. But before we introduce Brenda Lee, we are going to talk about our sacred circle of light. This is one of the most sacred practices that we all do together, where we join our hearts intentionally and we send healing energy and divine love around the planet to those who need it most. So maybe you know somebody in your life who's struggling, or they're having health challenges, they're facing some sort of difficulty. Maybe it's not even somebody that you know. Maybe you just want to set your intention out and around the globe to anybody who could use a dose of love, a dose of light, just that hint of upliftment that they don't even realize where it's come from. But you have taken a moment and held an intention to send a blessing of your love and your light out to people who might need it. So I invite you to drop any names in the chat of anyone who we would like to include in our sacred circle of light, or if you would like anyone held in a special container, then you can submit their name to spiritualambition.sacredlight.com, and we hold those individuals in our hearts and in our intentions. And right now, we're going to send light out to Betty and to Bob, to Celia and Don, sending light to Nadia, to Jeanette, to Christine, to David. Let's see if we have anybody else in the chat. All right, well, let's just take a moment and close our eyes and open our hearts and just send a beautiful blessing of loving out and around the world, touching those who could really use some upliftment and some love. Thank you so much. We include Mandy in our circle. All right, everyone. Well, listen, Brenda Lee, first of all, I want to give a shout out actually to Awakened Magazine and to Dave Trotter for connecting Brenda Lee and I. And, I had the unique privilege of sitting with Brenda and experiencing her gifts. And I got to tell you, I walked away. She gave me a gentle ass kicking. I do have to say that. I needed it. And I am super grateful for it. And the days following my experience with her, I experienced feeling altered, feeling cleared, feeling uplifted, feeling more connected to my own guidance, my own truth. Brenda is a great reflector of our own wisdom, our own inherent knowing, our own truth. And that's why I love her, because she is supporting each one of us to really attune to that guidance inside of us and to be able to use that as our own system for navigation. So I want to read her official bio. Brenda Lee Matash. I just can't. Forgive me. Brenda Lee is the founder of Attuned Guidance. She serves as a profound spiritual wisdom keeper, a mindset coach, and a quantum navigator. She empowers individuals to break free from limiting belief systems, guiding them to reclaim their personal power and embrace a life of conscious living infused with heart coherence. We're going to learn a little bit more about heart coherence today. Through her teachings, Brenda instructs others on how to tap into the quantum unified field, helping them trust this infinite source of guidance. She inspires you to drop into complete faith, revealing how this unified field communicates with us all the time, in every second of every moment of every day. Brenda emphasizes that every moment presents a unique opportunity to reimagine our narrative and recognize how the world reflects our intentions and our desires, enabling us to shape a reality that we truly do seek. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Brenda Lee Matush.
Hi, Donna.
Brenda, thank you so much for being with us today.
What an introduction. Thank you. Geez, I feel you. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So, the quantum field. I feel like, to talk about the quantum field, we need to have a degree in physics, and we need to be physicists. And you have really made this accessible in a way that is eye-opening and liberating. So, what is it?
Yeah. So the quantum field in itself is an energy of all creation. It's the very source of the beginning of creation, of all that is and ever will be. And it is an energy that is moving and flowing in every nanosecond of our experience. And it's how all of creation forms from. And so, as above, what's in the quantum, which is unlimited, endless potential, anything that wants to be created and pulled down into as above, so below, pulling down into the experience that we call life, right? And when you understand this and go another further, that's what's within is also without, right? And so what's within you is projecting out on this quantum screen that you call life, and it's allowing you to see yourself in every moment. And I say
Whoa.
that because everyone is connected to the quantum, because we came from the quantum. We are all one, the original light of creation itself. And all we're doing all day is looking at all versions of ourselves, which is actually happening past, present, and future simultaneously at all times. And we can talk about that too. But that would be my very short snippet introduction to it from my perspective, and actually how I experience life.
It's going to feel like a bit of a foreign language to a lot of people. How do we begin to interpret the quantum field that is everywhere present and all around us all of the time? How do we interpret it, and how do we make sense out of it for ourselves and our own lives?
Yeah, so anything that you're experiencing in your everyday life, let's just say inside your own four walls, is showing up as a manifestation of your belief system and how you speak, how you think, and what actions you take all day. And so anything that's inside your home, you've brought as above, and you've manifested it into your experience. But most people live looking outward, and they think that, they're in a house with furniture. And really, the way I live and the way I'm shown the universe is that everything is within me, and it's projected out for me to not only see myself, but to see what I don't like and what I do like. It's a full-on hands-on experience. And so when you start to question everything in your life, your thoughts especially, like, who's that thought? Where's that coming from? Whose thought is that? Who just said that, right? Because most people are projecting a life they're not even their belief systems. These belief systems were handed to them at a very young age by wonderful family members that were offering their perspective of life onto the child. And so the child's experience becomes this belief system that I got from the family members, right? And it becomes outdated because as the child grows, it's stuck in this way, and so it doesn't get to experience what's in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing you have to do is start questioning every thought you have and find out whose thought it is. And you have to start listening to every word you say, because as you speak it, it actually appears. The quantum field loves everybody, and it has no reference point. It just gives you what you put out automatically all
What you
day.
send out, what you get back.
And it's happening in a nanosecond real time. But people don't understand that because they're looking outward, and you have to change that perspective. You have to start looking at yourself. Because look, we can't change anybody out there. We just can't. I tried for years to change a lot of people. It doesn't work, right? Nobody wants to be told they got to change. And by the way, nobody is broken and nobody needs to be fixed out there. Everybody's running their own beautiful life, even if it looks dysfunctional to somebody from the outside looking in. We work on ourselves. They're showing us aspects of ourselves when we're looking at somebody and we think something's wrong with them. It's actually mirroring that there's something wrong with us that we need to focus on, right?
Can you give me an example of that? Because that's really a tough one for folks,
Yes.
right? Like that one, it's super not easy. You know, life is our mirror. In spiritual psychology, one of our principles that was created by Drs. Ron and Mary Holnick is outer experience is a reflection of inner reality. And this has been just life-changing to begin to own our projections, right? To own the things that we're sending out and identify with the truth of what's being reflected back to us.
So I'm going to start with, first of all, there is a double mirror at all times. We're just going to plant that over here. And so when you're born, you're here to truly be a multidimensional being that is unlimited potential, and you're in a human experience. And in this human experience, your goal is to have a lot of fun, but also come to a remembrance of who you really are. And so the first phases of your life, you're just going through, 1 to 7, and you're learning everything and you're getting programmed, right? And then you go in school and you get programmed even more. And then when you graduate high school, they throw you out in the world and tell you to go get a job, and they don't teach you anything about how to do that, right? And how to function outside the program. And so this is the natural progression of the evolution of the human experience, is to go through all those stages. And you'll reach a point where you're just gonna think there has to be more. And a lot of people reach that point, but they don't, it makes them uncomfortable. And they have people in their life that don't like that kind of talk. And so they suppress that. But there's a time when it's just going to rise. And the soul evolution is going to say, you've learned enough. Let's go over here. And so this is when you start bringing conscious awareness to the holographic messages, is what I call them. And there's always a double mirror. And so if somebody says something to you or does something that you don't like, there's two things happening. You're receiving something and they're projecting something. Now, if they're projecting it and they don't own it, but it triggers you, then the conflict is within you so that you can see what you need to work on next. It's just how the universe works. Each person that you come in contact with is helping you. Even when they're mad at you, they're helping you see yourself, because they might not be ready to make a change, but their soul is offering you an opportunity to change. And that's why you have to grab the ball that's being projected at you, do your own inner work. When you change yourself, they may or may not be in the room anymore, but you become a beacon and you start attracting new things.
So would you say that the quantum field is really like conspiring with us to help us and support us in our evolution?
Okay, the quantum field is conspiring with you at all times, no matter what decisions you're making.
Say more about that.
The quantum field doesn't care if you're negative or positive, having a bad life or a good life. There's no judgment. The quantum, the source that you come from is not judging how you live your life. This is the program. This is the belief system that's blocking you from moving forward. The quantum field conspires with you on any decision that you make, and there is no right or wrong or good or bad. So whatever you're receiving in your life, you're just a transmitter, you're attracting it. And when you start realizing that, you consciously make decisions, and all you got to do is test it. All you got to do is test it a couple times and you'll start getting some feedback, because whatever you decide, you're the creator of your reality. You get to choose at any moment. But if you're worried about what people think and don't talk about this and don't speak and don't say this and be nice and be a good girl and be polite, you're suppressing your full expression of who you are, which will never look like another. And so it's a self-discovery. You have to go through it yourself. But when you start testing it, you can't unsee what you'll see.
So if I have a negative thought, like I suck, or I'm worthless, or I'm no good, and I am affirming that and repeating that and like thinking that all of the time, is the quantum field then helping me to believe that on an even deeper level? Because it's going to be reflecting that back to me, because that's what I'm sending out.
Yes, because we are energy beings, and the unified field of all that is and ever will be is energy in motion at all times. That's all we are, is energy in motion. And so, yes, if you are in lack or negative, the quantum field's not mad at you. God, source, creator of all that is and ever will be, whoever you call it, isn't mad at you, because your wish is their command. And so what happens is people get into a loop, a narrative. They don't even know it's playing in the background. And even if, you say a positive affirmation, if you don't believe it yourself, the quantum doesn't believe you, because you're kind of emitting out this energetic field, right? So it's a practice to catch yourself. And the minute you start catching yourself, you can't pretend that you're not doing it to yourself, right? And that's what I teach, is how to tap into what's happening around you at all times so that you can change it, right? But it's a process, right? And so, look, imagine if we're here talking, and so we're sharing this energy, and then this podcast is done, and you're where you are and I'm where you are. But when the lights go out, you're still thinking of me, but I'm not. You can't see me and I'm not there, but I'm in your energy field. And over the next couple of days, I could totally change into a whole different person and shave my head and become a new person and do something different. But the person that you think I am, the person that you have this perspective of me, is still in your mind based on this last time that you saw me or spoke to me. So I'm living in your timeline under your own perceptions of how you see me, but you could never see me how I see me. Nobody can see me how I see myself. And when you stand in that, you become really powerful in attracting what you want, because you don't have any outside interference.
So when I hear those words, outside interference, is there the possibility of isolating ourselves in order to like have a good experience? You know what I mean? Like to keep everything status quo and humming along, and right, because we know relationships are one of our biggest opportunities for growth and evolution. And this is the part that I love about the quantum field that sometimes we don't want to own. Right? It's like you are me and I am you, and we are one, and there is no separation. But if I don't interact with anybody, then what's going
You
to
don't
happen?
see, you don't see yourself.
Say more about that.
So you only see yourself through others.
Mm.
The only way that you can truly get to know who you are is by observing everything around you as what is it showing me about me? What is that person saying to me for me? When you're living in and you're allowing and you're open to receive good, bad, or ugly from everybody that's in this beautiful game that we call life, right? Then what happens is you start seeing that you attracted that person to show you that part of you that you can't see on your own unless you're in front of somebody. And so you do have a little isolation to go inward and try to unpack that. But when you get really good at it, you just witness the world. And if I want to know more about this thing that's coming up in me, I just go out into the world and I get all the answers because I call it in and I say, show me all parts of me that I'm ignoring within myself. And, trigger me, universe, trigger me right now. I'm going out for 5 hours, trigger the shit out of me so I can see myself. And it really does work. I mean, I did it and I still do it. And it's the only way. When you stop pointing out and judging others, you're going to find some beautiful things about yourself that you were always judging about yourself. And when you're no longer judging yourself, the universe shows up for you on a whole new frequency, and the path is already lit. But you've got to dismantle this narrative playing, the subconscious narrative. And it has power because how you speak and think all day just amplifies it. So it's just like a broken record at this point.
Sometimes I pretend that I'm in a dream. And for whatever reason, I don't know, that perspective or that mindset helps me like symbolically interpret what's being reflected back to me. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So this whole thing is a dream. Life in itself is a dream. All right. And when you're sleeping, you're dreaming. When you're awake, we're dreaming because we're creators. We're constantly creating. But this is the Maya, the grand illusion, right? There's a big illusion and it's running on autopilot. And I want to be awake in the illusion, but I want to dream bigger now that I know that this illusion doesn't fit me over here in the collective, this matrix program that's suppressing people's truth and power, right? I want to empower people. If you're going to be in a earth that's an illusionary open creation, dream big. But before you can touch that, you must catch and dismantle what's been running on autopilot. People have no idea what they're thinking. I talk to people all the time and I'll say, you just said that. And they'll say, no, I didn't. Until they hear themselves say it, until they catch themselves say it, they won't believe it and they won't change it, right?
Catch and dismantle. I love that, Brenda. Catch and dismantle.
Catch and
Like,
dismantle.
write an article about that. Yeah, that's good. I love it.
Yeah. And once you start doing it, you're actually going to want to know where you're trapped. You're going to want to know, because once you catch yourself doing it to yourself and you see some proof over here and the quantum starts responding, you're going to go, I'm like a magician over here. I'm like, I just say something and it appears. But if you've got this giant program running, you're just going to be kind of swimming upstream. You might get a one-hit little over here, and then you're going to be struggling, right? So we got to go in and we got to dismantle the program and open up the heart mind. but the mind up here is what's keeping you trapped in your experience, which, by the way, most people are perfectly comfortable in their uncomfortableness, and I'm okay with that, right? I personally continue to expand and rise up to how powerful I am to create with the quantum, because I was born perfect. And when you realize that, you can change yourself, you can change your mind, and you don't feel bad about it. You don't need outside approval anymore. You don't need validation for a decision that I make as an adult in my life, right? Because I
Yeah.
do it from joy. But people want to keep you stuck. Like I gave you the analogy, when we turn this off, you remember me in your mind, and then I show up differently and they go, "Who are you?" And I say, "Well, I changed." "Well, how come?" "Because I wanted to." Because in their mind, in their projection of their reality, you're stuck in time and space with them, because they're stuck, so they can only see themselves in the way they used to see you, right? And a lot of
Mm.
people stop their evolutionary process to please others, but really it's the other person's own perception of their own life that is being projected out. Don't catch the ball, keep going to figure out who you are. And then
Mm.
maybe you'll come back together. Maybe you won't. It doesn't matter.
So you just mentioned the heart and heart coherence. And I know that this is really central to your work. So can you explain what that is and why we need the heart as part of this conversation, as part of the experience, as part of the exchange,
Yeah.
and not the mind? Because it's so easy with all of what we're talking about to sort of get tripped up in the mind, and right, like we're chasing down thoughts that we want to investigate, and we want to have those thoughts or we don't want to have those thoughts. So how do we get out of the head and use our heart as the access point to the quantum attunement, to put it in your language?
Yeah. So first of all, you have to dismantle the program. And so you're not the mind and you're not the body. You're the light within, the one creation, the spark of all that is and ever will be. That spark, whatever you call it, source, God, creator, whatever you identify as, you are part of that spark. And this vessel, you're projecting your experience through this beautiful vessel that we call our body. And that body has an incredible heart, and there's a heart mind inside. But the programmed egoic mind that's been handed to us and is amplified through society, right? Of everybody in competition, separation from each other, right? But the heart mind is so pure and so delicious, and it's a whisper. And so the world is quite loud and chaotic. And the whisper of the heart is very soft because it only belongs to you. This whisper that comes here only belongs to you. And so not everybody else has access to that wisdom and that truth, right? And so when we tap into this, when we're doing the work, this starts speaking to you, and it's unknown, and you just follow that. So as you're dismantling the program, what's beautiful is when you do enough of it and you do it quickly, so you get with somebody who can help you move it real quickly, the intellectual mind is left and it will surrender to the heart, and the soul will start leading you and new doors will open, and the intellectual mind will kick in and follow the heart. And that's the heart coherence of being connected to the creation itself, that I can have anything, do anything, as long as I choose me, be me, authentically allow me to emerge, and I get to decide what me is at any moment, right? And so it's like a scavenger hunt, right? You just start following signs, and it puts this story, and then you have a dream when you're sleeping and it gives you metaphoric messages, right?
Talk a little bit about synchronicity. And, Deepak Chopra explains synchronicity as meaningful coincidences that are revealing the universe's interconnectedness, acting as signs of alignment with the divine matrix or the source, not random events, allowing us to co-create our reality through intention and awareness. And this also goes on to what you were just saying, shifting from ego-driven actions to flow with universal intelligence. So if you're, just starting out with this new language of really being able to get into a conversation with the quantum field, how do we use synchronicity and serendipity? Or how does that even play into this conversation?
Okay, so this is a lot of fun. So I have so much fun with the quantum field because I know that I'm writing my script of my life all day, every day. I'm fully consciously aware that I am the writer, the director, the editor, and the main character. It's just because I know how it works, I'm very careful who I hand a script to in my movie. And so what happens is some people will start seeing, 111 or 222, and they'll look up the angel number and you'll get a message. And that's delicious and lovely in itself to have that. But that is the quantum letting you know that you're honoring your soul's journey and that you're in this new energetic flowing field that's around you at all times. Some people can feel it. I can feel it. Some people don't feel it. And so you're going to get a serendipity. You think somebody says it, you want to call somebody, they call you. This is happening, by the way, all the time. But
Like
when
lightning.
like lightning, but you're consciously now more paying attention to it, it's showing you kind of how you're connected. And so everything is a documentary. Every movie you watch is a documentary. I mean, it just is. And it's being projected based on who you are on the screen. And when you start tuning into that, you're just going to be going, oh my gosh, I'm like writing my whole life based on what I want, what I feel, what I think, what I want to create. And I get to change that at any moment. And you can really start playing with it. And then you'll see the scripts updating constantly. Now, this takes work to get to, because you got to dismantle this little monkey mind program that's preventing you from this magical, mystical way to live. I mean, Donna, it's our birthright to create what we want. We didn't come here to suffer. We came here to create a better life for ourselves, for the people we love, and for the collective, right? And this has been suppressed from us. And, it's time for people to learn how powerful they are.
Yeah. Brenda, tell us a little bit about how you support your clients in stopping the monkey mind or breaking apart the pattern. I forget what that catchphrase was that you said earlier. I just loved, because it's like a sieve in here.
Yeah.
But share with us a little bit about your work.
Yeah, so I do one-on-one coaching, and I have some programs that are one-on-one that, stay with you a short time or a longer time, depending on it's a deep dive, what people want to do. I also offer gene key sessions, which gives you kind of like a little soul map to how you were designed, so that you can learn to fully accept all of your shadows, all those parts of you that you think are icky. They're absolutely divine, and were handed to you to offer you a higher perspective to see why you're here. And then I have 4 courses that are, self-discovery online courses, take at your own pace, that you can dismantle the program with. You can learn that your vibration matters. It'll teach you mirror work. And then it also has one on synchronicities that shows you how tapped in you're at all times. I mean, look, people use the word manifestation a lot. But I want to let you know, from my perspective, everybody's manifesting everything 100% of the time. It's just, are you consciously aware that you're doing it? Even the things you don't like, you are bringing that into your reality on your own, of your own free will. And when you take back your power and consciously make changes and put forth action, you can literally alter your entire life quickly.
Can you share with us what happened to you personally to alter your life, to break you out of, I always like to say, the, hypnotics of the physical world, the physical reality, the programming that we're all subject to? How did you break free of it yourself
Yeah,
and
I was
find
in
a
it.
way to be the navigator that you are today?
Yeah, so I was in it. I was in the grind. I was in a 30-year career, and I had checked off all the boxes and just thought, is this it? Like, accomplishments and money, and then inside I'm like, there has to be more. And I always knew there was more, and I just thought, oh, you just keep working, you just keep making, you just keep buying stuff, you're going to get it. And one day I just said, no, this can't be it. And I started asking bigger questions. And I actually went to Maui and I went on vacation. And my very first day, I had a awakening on the beach after I landed. And I met a part of myself that I always knew was there, but I hadn't been introduced to her yet. And I knew immediately that I needed to live on Maui. I needed to be there. And I was on vacation for 18 days and I had all these mini awakenings and clarity. And I just knew I was home. And I moved on to the island 5 weeks later. And I lived there almost 7 years. And the first year on the island, I started finding out who I was and I started asking bigger questions. And I had guidance come in. I had a council of 12 that came and started guiding me and showing me that I was the one doing it all to myself and that I was here on earth to, start dismantling this. And I just started asking, show me where I'm stuck and show me another version of me. And I would run into somebody that was exactly like me and we would trigger each other. And I would go home and I would work on it and they wouldn't. And then the next time I'd see them, they'd still be mad at me and I'd want to hug them and they'd be mad that I cleared it so quickly. And that showed me the contrast of how quickly I can clear it. And then I took it real serious and I mastered how to conquer those triggers. And that's what I teach. I teach how you have to see yourself in the whole situation because there's a gift that person, even if they're angry with you and they stay stuck, they're handing you an opportunity for you not to be stuck. And it's okay if they want to stay stuck because that's their free will. But the mirror is showing you that they're there at the same time that they're staying stuck. They're there helping you. That's soul connection. That's who we
Yes.
are. We are souls connected as one, helping each other at all times.
I love it. Where can we learn more about you and your work?
Yeah, so I'm on attunedguidance.com is my website, and I'm on Instagram, Attuned Guidance, and I think Facebook, Attuned Guidance. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, one of the last segments that we do here on Spiritual Ambition is called the Celebration of Love's Alchemy. And this is where we take a gentle pause to recognize the extraordinary magic that is woven through our everyday life. And every episode, we take a moment of loving celebration for something that might seem ordinary or even contrary at first glance, but it holds within it a spark of brilliance as we celebrate and remind ourselves why we chose to take a body and come here to human land. So everything from the sweetness of a juicy orange to the blessing of an emotional trigger, we turn our attention to the less obvious causes for celebration and the little things that we might take for granted. And through our loving appreciation and gratitude, we uplift ourselves and our vibration with the power of love, sending ripples of good juju out across the planet. As alchemists of upliftment, we turn the seemingly mundane into marvels of magnificence as we see the whole human experience as the alchemy of our wisdom. And so today we are bringing our love to coincidence. You know, I stopped believing in coincidence pretty early on in my life. And I'd love to hear from you too. If you stopped believing in coincidence and started knowing that these synchronicities and these serendipities were winks from the universe, right? Like, hello, I'm speaking to you. I'm trying to get your attention. Pay attention. Like these little messages from our soul. You were talking about earlier, you know, the song that comes on the radio with the exact lyrics that you need to hear at the precise moment that you need to hear them, or the book that literally falls off the shelf from the library or the bookstore, or, you know, some of the even bigger like kicks in the asses. Maybe you're struggling to make a really big decision in your life and you're standing in line at the supermarket and there's a guy in front of you with a t-shirt that says, take the leap and the net will appear. You know, we dismiss these seemingly random coincidences and we just move on with our day. But what if these are love notes from the quantum field? So everybody with us today, I really invite you to consider that the quantum field is constantly arranging reality to get your attention, and that these random moments are really attuned guidance disguised as a chance encounter. So today we celebrate coincidence and recognize that they're not random, but they're evidence that we are all so deeply connected, completely supported, and the entire unified field is conspiring on our behalf. And, you know, as Brenda, you were sharing with us earlier, and you didn't say this, but like the field is neutral. So whatever we're sending out is what the field is going to be reflecting back. And this is just an invitation for all of us to get really astute and attuned at witnessing what is going on in our mind and how are we connected to our hearts or not. The universe is trying to let us know in every moment, I'm here, I see you, you're not alone. Thank you so much for being with us, Brenda. It was lovely to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
Please join us for our next show, Spiritual Ambition, where we're going to explore the way through navigating the 4 stages of transformation so that you can come home to yourself. I'm going to close our space. Again, thank you everyone for being here, all of the love in the chat, and any stupid comments that might have been made. But we are closing our sacred space, just giving a nod to the quantum field, to the all that is, to the everywhere present energy that is us, reflecting back as us, supporting us in every moment to awaken to the truth of who we really are. We are now closing all energetic lines of communication between any of us, closing any open portals, gateways, channels, agreements, and lines of communication between any of us and the spirit world. We are grateful and we say thank you. I am now closing this show with love, for love, by love, as love. Thank you for being here. I'm Donna Bond. This is Spiritual Ambition. Thank you, Brenda Lee. Love you. Can't wait to have you in Costa Rica.
Yeah, I love you too.
Thank you, everyone.